Of course, teacher excellence, we have to maintain the quality of our teachers. There's no doubt about that. We have to maintain their qualifications, make sure they're given the tools to succeed. Of course, financial challenges are on everyone's mind. How to deal with the reduction in funding from the state, and that's a real challenge. I give the board a lot of credit for stepping up and getting the teacher's contract in place, which seems to address a lot of that issue. And to the extent that we have further reductions in funding, we're really going to have to roll up our sleeves and figure out how to go about that. I think you can always continue to look for opportunities for savings and efficiencies, regardless of where you are. And then another priority will be, of course, if there is a transition from Mark Freeman being the superintendent eventually, there will be a retirement there, and we'll have to make sure we have another excellent superintendent that really can get involved with the community and understand the educational process. And I saw Mr. Freeman today at a clap out, and he's a super guy that's been very involved with all the schools. So in a nutshell, I think that's basically my philosophy on being on this board. I think I have a significant background on boards. I know the number of the board members currently and think I can work effectively with them. I wanted to briefly address, since this is recorded presentation because of certain glitches in the video that happened during the meeting, I did want to address 3 of the questions that were raised after my presentation, make sure we get these out there. The first issue, of course, was the big issue about Senate Bill 5, and it was raised by a teacher, and how that would affect me, or how I perceived Senate Bill 5 as a board member. And I've taken a look at Senate Bill 5, and it's certainly not what I think is appropriate for the Ohio educational system, much less the labor system in Ohio. And as one commentator put it, it's not like the greedy teachers and firemen were the ones that caused this recession and the deficit that we have. It was a host of other problems, and not having a focus on education is really not a wise thing. And I think the legislature down in Columbus has really fumbled around for many years on how to approach education, and has really not made it a priority. As far as Senate Bill 5 affects Shaker Heights, as far as I see it, it is what it is. It's apparently going through. It's out there. It has gone through. It's out there. But I think we need to stick with the plan that we've had in effect in Shaker Heights, is working very closely with the staff, with the teachers, and making sure everyone understands that education is a priority. I don't think there's been any issue on that in the past, and it's shown up very clearly in the recent teacher contract. I'm almost seeing it having a negligible effect on Shaker Heights, because I think we all understand you can't punish the teachers and expect to have a quality education. It's important that the teachers get properly compensated, reasonably compensated, and that we move forward all on the same page of trying to educate the children. From my work as an attorney and as a negotiator in contracts, there's never a single win. It's always a win-win situation. If you don't have a win-win situation, the agreement's gonna fail. And I think that's one of the reasons why Shaker's been a success. Maybe one of the reasons some of the other school systems have struggled, because they don't work cooperatively with their teachers to give the education experience. So that's what I have to say on Senate Bill 5. Another question that was raised was the issues at the high school. Are there any particular issues that stand out? Unfortunately, I don't have children in the high school yet. I'm assuming the issues that are being raised are attendance, poor focus, peer group issues, and those are adolescent issues that have to be worked out. And And as a school board member, I'd certainly be interested to see what programs are currently in effect and what can be improved, if any, necessary to address those. For example, mentor programs with teachers as mentors, with other qualified students as mentors, might be appropriate to help some of the underperforming students along. I think they need a good peer group in order to excel, and to the extent that the schools and the Board of Education can support creating an atmosphere where there's a good peer group. I think that's something good that can accomplish good goals. The other question that was raised was, 80% of the school budgets goes to salaries. How do you create more efficiencies if most of the money is going to salaries already, and there's not a whole lot going to other things. And you might think that there's only two things you can do: raise taxes or cut people. But I think that there's other opportunities out there for finding efficiencies, going through processes where people are focused on providing a premier education at a very efficient cost, so that we don't tax ourselves out of existence in Shaker Heights. I know we have one of the highest tax rates in the state. We can't keep going that way, but we have to maintain the quality of the education. So far, the schools have done a fantastic job of good financial stability, and we have to find the right balance. I think it's everyone's responsibility to look for ways that we can maintain competitive compensation, as well as be efficient in our delivery of the services and keep our costs down. So there's got to be ways that we can approach that. I brought this up with my son the other day about how would you address some of these issues, throwing things out, would you cut teachers, would you cut programs, would you make classes larger? And he's looking at me with like this incredulous look, saying, education is everything. How could you possibly cut anyone? Which I gave him a lot of credit for, being a 13-year-old, that he understands the importance of education. And I think I would do everything I could to help support that. So that's really all I had to say. I appreciate your time looking at this, and I would appreciate your support during this upcoming election for Shaker School Board. Thank you.